Hi, I'm Wade from Thoroughbred Diesel. Today we're going to be doing a used truck buyer's guide on the 2018 Ram 2500 4th Gen. You kind of get a 2-for-1 in this video from us today, guys. This is going to be a used buyer's guide for 4th Gen trucks, as well as an introduction to one of our new shop trucks. So this is a 2018 Ram 2500 with 6.7 Cummins diesel in it. We're going to be doing a lot of installation videos on this truck, but this is really going to be a buyer's guide for you guys. We wanted to go through, just like we always do with these trucks, we're going to be going through exterior, interior, drivetrain, and then we're going to be centering on engine with that. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our walk around on this truck, and we're going to start with exterior. Exterior on the 4th Gen trucks was a really big change from the 3rd Gen trucks. Now, with this being the 2018, there were some subtle differences that you have when you go into the 2019 models, and then there's some subtle differences from the 2010s up to this year range, but they're all pretty subtle. The 4th Gens, you're going to have the different hood from the 3rd Gens, a lot of difference on the grills and things of that nature. But really what you're looking for inside of the truck is you're always looking for, rust is the big thing on the exterior of any vehicle, especially you guys in the northern states. You're going to want to look for rust in, obviously, the normal places, fender wells, rocker panels. If the truck's had fender flares on it, that's a good spot for rust to hide. On the exterior on these trucks, you're going to want to look at these bumpers because they might have some rounded off bolts from the 2nd Gen guys trying to steal them and put them on their trucks. That's a big trend. That's some dad humor for you there. So that's just kidding. But really nothing on these trucks. I'd be 100% honest with you as far as a Mopar product goes. We don't have, this rendition of a Ram truck hasn't really been out long enough to start to see the things like we did in 2nd Gen trucks, paint's peeling and common rust spots and things like that. So haven't really seen that. Everything is pretty much good to go here as far as that goes. One thing I will say on the exterior of these trucks, of course, you can get this truck in crew cab, you can get it in mega cab, you can get it in the regular cab truck, long bed and whatnot. I will say one thing for this model truck on the exterior side of it, I think this, and I don't know why, this is probably just me, but as far as the mirrors go on this truck, I think that the tow mirrors on a Dodge, all the jokes aside, I mean, it can be a little bit excessive. But for this body style, I think it just flows better. I don't know why. There's no difference in the length of the mirrors or anything like that. But just to me, on a 4th Gen, it's not quite as comical when the tow mirrors are flipped out. So that is exterior. So our new 2018 truck, this is a tradesman package, so there's not a whole lot of bling. The 19 truck, or I'm sorry, it was a 21 truck. The 21 truck that we did the walk around, the buyer's guide on, the new truck buyer's guide on, had everything in it. So this has got Uconnect, even though it's tradesman, it's got the Uconnect, it's got the 5-inch screen, water. But listen, let me tell you something. And this is, I'm taking a line from Adam's comedy right here. How you sell your wife on a truck is the amount of cup holders it's got in it. With this package right here, when you flip down the middle bench, you got 1, 2, 3 cup holders. You got 2 in the bottom, another one there. That's probably for your spitter. A total of 6 cup holders. Mwah! It's just c'est magnifique. You know what I'm saying? But for a tradesman package, it's a really nice truck. Now you're looking for the same thing as always here. There's in this model truck on the interior, a lot of plastic here. But I'm gonna say another good thing about Dodge as far as their plastic goes. Their plastic seems to be more rigid, not more brittle, but just stouter. I don't see the brokenness that we see in other manufacturers. So it's definitely something that you look for on a truck that you're looking for in used vehicles. Inside the seats, you're looking for the same spot where they rub through them and whatnot, and interiors wore out on the steering wheel and that stuff. So high mileage trucks you're looking for, but on low mileage trucks you shouldn't be seeing that. This truck's got less than 10,000 miles on it. So everything is pristine, especially previous owner put the covers on here. Tradesman package, you only get the one glove box. You don't have the fold down glove box there. The back seat on the crew cab trucks There's plenty of leg room in here. You've got the grab handles on each one. Really, really nice. There's a couple of cup holders back here, so that's really, really nice. So it's a pretty nice truck. Really not a whole lot to talk about on interior on these trucks. It's a good setup. You'll be happy with it. The drivetrain is a little bit different on these trucks. A lot to talk about here. So in these year classes of trucks, you're going to be able to get 3 different transmissions. I'm just going to start with transmission because that's what we're going to lean on here. You can get the 68 RFE. You can get the Aisin automatic, and then up to 2018 or 19, I can't remember. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. You still had the G56 Mercedes standard shift. This truck as it sits, 68 RFE automatic, 3/4 ton. Horsepower rating on this truck is 370 with 800 foot-pounds of torque. Now, I'm going to start on, well, let me get through the easy stuff first. Let's do axles. So this truck has got the American axles front and back on it, 11.5 inch on the 11.5 inch on the rear, and then the front is 9.25 12 bolt American axle. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different model than the rest of the trucks, but it is it's in the earlier model trucks. But we have had no problems on American axles. So what are you looking for there? If you drive it, if there's just been some sort of craziness that goes on with the truck, you're looking for the same thing. Any type of whine that you hear from the rear end of the truck or anything front end the same way. You always, when you test drive a truck, you want to make sure, I don't know why people have quit doing this now when they test drive trucks. You want to engage 4-wheel drive. You want to drive it in 4-wheel drive. Make sure you don't have any binding or anything like that. Normal wear items on a straight axle truck like this is going to be U-joints in the axles, obviously ball joints, things of that nature. So when you're looking at a used truck, you want to listen for those sounds when you engage it in 4-wheel drive and when you're driving down the road at highway speeds. But you also want to be looking for erratic tire wear as well. That goes into suspension components that you have. Now we've tied the axles back into suspension components. We taught you how to look for looseness in the front end of one of these trucks with a solid front axle. You're looking for play in the tie rods. You're looking for play in the track bar. You're looking for play in the ball joints. All of that can be read by the way that the tires wear, and if the truck's got brand new tires on it, it's going to be hard to do that. So take your time, jack your truck up, check everything out. Transfer case on these, you really don't have a lot of problems. You will want to, again, engage it. This is a floor shift truck. The electronic shifts, you want to make sure that you shift it into gear, and you want to make sure that you feel it going into gear, that it's pulling correctly, and you're not having crazy sounds from that. Now on to the 68 RFE. G56 transmissions, not a lot to talk about there. Same thing. Clutches in stock format. If the truck's got performance modifications to it, you're going to want to pay attention to what's going on with the clutch. Do you feel slippage? Do you feel anything like that, vibration coming from that portion of the truck? The Aisin's a pretty stout transmission, not a lot jumps out there, but the 68 RFE gets a little bit more difficult. When you are driving a truck with a 68 RFE in it, the first thing and the most important thing that you're going to want to go for, if you step in a used truck, and this doesn't matter what used truck it is, you step in a used truck, the check engine's light is on, that's immediately, you've got to figure out what the check engine light's about. It might be about something stupid, it might be an O2 sensor or whatever, but it could have trans code in it. If it's 68 RFE and it's got a transmission code in it, it's going to be something that you're going to have to be aware of, and you're going to have to calculate that into your buying price on the truck. When you drive these trucks, you want to make sure you get them out and you get them up to highway speeds. Don't just take it for a drive around the block where the truck can only get into 3rd gear. It's got to be able to get to 6, and you're going to be looking for flare shifts in the 5-6 trucks, especially on the tuned trucks. You're going to want to make sure that the truck has good smooth shifting. And everything that comes along with that. So flare shifts, check engine lights for 68 RFE, any leakage, you can crawl underneath of the truck and you're going to look for signs that somebody's been in there before. If they've had wrenches on the bolts and things, you're going to have to ask questions at that point. Why was the transmission out of the truck? you know, we talk about this in Used Buyer's Guide as well. You know, everybody wants to do their Carfax and they're just looking to see if the truck has been wrecked. You want to do your Carfax and they're telling me now that Carfaxes are tied back into VIN checks. VIN checks will tell you what has been done to the truck under warranty. The 68 RFE, you have to educate yourself about it. It can be a good transmission, but if you step out on the limb and you've saved enough money to buy a truck, you don't have an extra $7, $8, $9, or $10,000 to put into a transmission right away, you need to be aware of that at time of purchase. So you need to get a solid truck, go through it as much as you possibly can, so you don't have to incur that, you know, right out of the gate. So that's probably the best that I can say to that. That is, in my opinion, as far as driveline goes, and including transmission in that, the 68 RFE is something you need to be aware of. It can be very problematic, so it needs to be, you need to study, do your homework, and then make sure you buy the right truck. So now we're gonna go through engine. All right, on to the 6.7 engine. This has been to me, it's been another home run as an engine for Dodge to pair up with. The 6.7 Cummins is a very, very efficient engine, very, very efficient pump. I mean, that's the best way we talk about it. We talk about displacement on the 6.7 all the time and how it translates to just being able to move a lot of air in its configuration. But it's just a really, really nice motor. But as a used truck buyer's guide, there are some things that you're going to want to look for when you drive it. And I'll just start over on the passenger side of the engine. The 351 or 300 Chargers, depends on what year truck that you buy. These Chargers are, they're VGT. So as we know, there can be problems with VGTs. In this turbo configuration, this Holset turbo, usually what our failure there is going to be inside of the actuator. Now, the one thing that you're going to want to look for when you're driving this truck to see, hey, do I have a failing actuator? You're just going to want to make sure that the truck, and this is something that you're going to have to separate here between a turbo problem or possibly even a transmission problem. When you drive it, you want to make sure that it's reacting well on the low end when you take off, so that the VGTs, knowing that the VGTs are working correctly, it should be pretty peppy, and it should open on up. You should turn the exhaust brake on when you drive the truck. Make sure it actuates, make sure that it slows the truck down, and then that it's working. So that tells you have a working actuator. You know, the Chargers aren't they aren't bulletproof on this truck. They have been a little bit problematic, but it's something that you can you can educate yourself about, know about it going forward, you know, before you buy the truck. The EGR coolers on this motor are very efficient, and the one thing that's very nice about the EGRs on this truck is it's fairly easy to get to. So removing it and being able to clean it is something that you can do to help overall efficiency on the truck as well. Okay, the motor itself, no real problems there. The injection system on the 6.7 truck, there was a change in the Bosch injector numbers with the different horsepower ratings of the engine. They have all been a very good injector. They don't jump out as failures to me like some other problems that we've had. In the 2018 model year, this was the last year for the CP3. They went over to the CP4 in 19 and 20, and then went back in 2021. And so 2021 got the CP3 back. The CP3 on this truck has been very good. The EGR valves are easy to get to be able to service them, so that's another nice feature of it. But you know, there's really nothing that you're going to be able to see here but drive the truck, get it up to operating temperature. And again, an outlier truck, if you find a truck they're only wanting $10,000 for, and a 2015 truck, just for example, something's going to be wrong with it. So take it, drive it, get it up to operating temperature, open up the fuel cap on it, make sure there's no blow-by so they don't have anything stupid that's going on in here down cylinder. These trucks have been prone to having head gasket problems because of well, several things that go into that. We've talked about it in a lot of videos. When you drive the truck, drive it and get it up to operating temperature, grab the upper radiator hose and you should be able to squeeze it. If it's very, very hard and you shut the truck off after a couple hours and come back and you still got that, there's a good chance you've got combustion gases that's in the coolant tank. Look inside of the coolant tank over here. If you see discoloration of the coolant, then you know something's going on. That's something that you need to be aware of, and keep that in mind for your purchase and your purchasing price. But this is a Cummins engine. We all know that Cummins does a hell of a job on their motors. This medium duty motor in a light duty truck is a very good fit, and this is going to be the one thing in my mind as an overall package. This engine, this isn't where you need to do your worrying, that's for sure. That's about the best way I know to explain it. So, buyer's guide on a 2018. Adam and I talked about this, and I want to make a point to this. There are going to be a lot of videos coming for this truck. We have had employees here that have had 6.7s, but Thoroughbred has never owned a 6.7 Dodge before. So Adam and I will be getting seat time on this truck, learning a lot about the truck itself, a lot about the systems, and what we're going to suggest to you to put on a truck. This truck is going to be a tow pig. That's what it's going to do. I didn't talk about this in drivetrain, and I should have. Coil suspension. This 18 has got coil suspension in the rear end, and this is going to be the first vehicle that I have ever towed a sizable gooseneck with coil suspension. So I have a lot of thoughts about it, and I want to learn about it. I want to learn why they went to this. I know what the overall thinking was, but I will be interested in bringing this in my mind and come together as to why you coupled comfort and driving, and then see how it affects the towing of the truck. So last time I rode in a truck with coil springs in the rear end was in my father's 72 Chevrolet. So I mean, it's been that long. But yeah, a lot of videos coming for this truck. If you got an 18 or a 4th gen model and you want to say anything, jump down in the comments and let everybody else know, because these buyer's guides are to help you, and for us it's to help you and introduce you to our new tow pig. So I'm Wade from Thoroughbred Diesel. We appreciate your business, and thanks for watching. You know, ads aren't something that we do a whole lot of, so this is kind of a new thing for us, but Mann's Chrysler out of Richmond did an awesome job helping us to get into this 2018 Dodge 2500. This truck is the 2018, 3 years old, and it's got less than 10,000 miles on it. They did a great job. Can't say enough about those guys. So Adam says there's going to be a link inside of this video that you can click that take you right to Mann's Chrysler, and they'll hook you up and get you in a vehicle. Don't forget about these car lots. These guys have got good used vehicles on their lots, and they'll get you taken care of. Thanks for watching.